If anyone's ever been lied to, or if your boyfriend or girlfriend has manipulated you at all, you'll know how I feel. But I seriously doubt many of you have been through this level of betrayal and this amount of lies. Guys, my boyfriend was hiding the biggest secret from me. I'll tell you a little bit about it before I dive into details. He has a kid. A kid he never told me about. It's funny how you think you know someone until they prove over and over again that you don't really know them. It sucks even worse when it's the person you thought you were going to marry. Now, you question everything that's ever happened in your relationship. Furthermore, you question your compatibility and you feel like a fool. You feel like a fool for being strung along for 4 years with the promise that he'll marry you. For thinking that he loved you so much, then that's why he prevented you from pursuing your dream job. You wonder what could have happened if all those years ago you had chosen a different path. And you're lucky you don't have to wonder about such a thing because I do. I'm 27 and female, and I'm in quite a predicament with my boyfriend of 4 years, Brian. Brian has been a loving boyfriend for over 4 years. Of course, the relationship wasn't perfect, but it was better than any other relationship I've been in. He was supportive, loving, and caring. He wanted to spend a lot of time with me and never treated me like a burden. I was always the main priority in his life. I thought that I would marry this man. Even our families were always asking us when we were getting married. His answer was always the right time would come. He kept stalling, which made me question our relationship. I thought that maybe I wasn't good enough to marry him. After all, what was the point of marrying me if we were already together? I started to regret some choices that I've made throughout the course of our relationship. Basically, I'd given him everything. I never concealed any parts of myself from him. Maybe because he knew everything. He felt there was nothing to gain from getting married to me. With that being said, we recently hit a hurdle. With the way things are looking, I don't think that we're going to get married anytime soon. In fact, the past 24 hours have made me so happy that I'm not married to him. Who wants to be married to a liar? I certainly don't. All the doubts have entered my head over the past 24 hours. I got a message from a woman on social media by the name of Emily. I never check my message requests because I'm rarely online. However, my phone was acting up, and I decided to start cleaning all of my inboxes since I was in the mood for decluttering. I started cleaning up my social media inboxes as well. I noticed that I had several message requests. Those are usually requests from these weird people online or scammers, so I don't usually pay any attention to it. However, one message in particular caught my eye. I ended up opening it. It was from a woman who was claiming to be coming to me. Woman to woman. Well, I knew how these messages usually went. It was probably someone who claimed to be in a relationship with him. I never thought I'd get such a message about Brian. He's the most loyal person ever. He exudes golden retriever energy. Alas, even loyal Brian can have dirty secrets, I suppose. I opened the message and read it. It was quite lengthy, but the gist of it was that Brian had a child. He had a 4-year-old son with Emily, whom I've never met before. She told me that he left her soon after she fell pregnant. He supported her over the years, but it was minimal. He does not show up for his son, who hardly knows him, and he ignores Emily when she needs something. She's gotten tired of begging him to take care of his son. She's known about me for several years, but decided not to contact me. She felt it would be quite disrespectful for her to bother me with this. She knew who she had a child with, and it was not me. She was very sorry that she was bothering me at all, but she felt that she had no choice. The child was growing, and they were in need of expenses. She needed him to just contribute a little bit more. Emily hated to have this conversation. She hated to go to court. She knew that Brian's financial situation was not the best right now, but at least he could try. As I was reading all this, my heart sank. I kept on replaying the fact that when we were together, he was very adamant about wanting to be with someone without a child. He told me that he's been with a woman who had a child in the past, and it became difficult due to baby daddy drama. I understood where he was coming from and assured him that I had no children. He also knew that I did not want to have kids before I got married. Over the years, the topic of having kids has come up repeatedly. Each time I've reiterated the fact that I will not have children outside of marriage. I want my kids to have security. I don't want to have to chase someone down for money like the woman he impregnated is doing. To be honest, I felt sorry for her. For her to be coming to me must mean things have gotten really bad. She's respected my relationship for over 4 years and has not mentioned once that he has a kid. Because of that, I'll not be blaming her for this mess. The person I'll blame is Brian, who owes me honestly. He has had so many opportunities over the past 4 years to come clean with me and tell me he has a kid. If he had come to me and told me, I would have grown to accept it. I love him enough to be okay with him having a child. However, the fact that he's not mentioned this once, it shows a lack of respect for our relationship. Clearly, our relationship is built on lies, and if the foundation is weak, the entire relationship will crumble. If this relationship is based on lies, then maybe it's best that we just didn't get married to begin with. I was extremely shattered when I read the message. I felt like our relationship was a lie, and I wondered what else he had lied about to me over the years. It was just by luck that as I was about to respond to Emily, I heard his car in the driveway. I did not send her a message. Instead, I waited for him to come inside. As soon as he came in, I gave him my phone. As soon as he read the first few lines, he gave me the phone back and told me that he could explain. I lost it, I really did. Before he could even utter a few words, I told him that I'm done. This was the biggest betrayal ever, and I could not deal with the person who led to be a double life. Who knew what else he was hiding? I mean, he tried to reason with me, and even told me that he was scared to tell me about his kid. In response to this, I reminded him that he has known me for many, many years. He knows that I'm such a loving, forgiving person. I would have been okay if he had been the one to tell me. Now, things have changed. For me to hear it from a stranger online is just disrespectful on his part. He told me he understood and would do anything to make it up to me, and he means anything. Obviously, I was not hearing it. I told him that he did not have his priorities in check and that I could not be with somebody like that. I asked if this was why he did not want to get married, because I would come to find out that he has a kid all along. He said that that was not the case. He just claimed that he wanted everything to be okay with me and him, his wife and mother to his children, but things were complicated right now. Well, I said clearly that they were, since he told Emily that he was having financial problems. Well, when I said that, he went silent. I decided I would not ruin my day even further by talking to him. I was too upset to be in the same room as him. I went to our room and packed a little bag, and then I went to stay with my friend. I've been at my friend's house since last night, and Brian has been blowing up my phone and calling me, but I've not answered even once. I'm too upset and heartbroken to even talk to him. What if I had a child with him and he left me like he left Emily? Clearly he had no integrity, and that's a huge red flag. How can you just leave a person who you made a child with? He was responsible for the child as much as she was. For me to marry a person who cannot take responsibility for his offspring would be stupid. Who knows, maybe I'm next. Maybe we'll get married and have kids and then he'll leave me. There's nothing secure about him. I've just been lying to myself over the years, and I feel very stupid right now. I think that I should end this relationship while there's still time. I'm still young and I can start over, and I don't have to do this because I've given a lot of, to the relationship. Guys, what do you think? Do you possibly think that I'm overreacting? What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope you guys are enjoying today's story, and let me know. Do you think OP is overreacting? I certainly don't. I mean, hiding a whole child from your significant other, it's always going to end in a disaster. Unfortunately for OP, things are not done yet. The first update came 2 weeks later, and it says this. Update number 1. Oh my goodness. It's been 2 weeks since I fought with Brian. It's not been an easy 2 weeks, but I feel much better now. I would like to thank you all for your thoughtful comments. They've helped me look at things slightly different. Because of this, I've decided that I want to take a break from the relationship. Learning about the situation with Emily has shown me some personality traits of his that I never knew existed. First, he cannot take responsibility for his actions to save his life. This is something I've noticed about him over the years. I've often thought it's because he's afraid of confronting. Maybe it's just a lack of maturity. Secondly, Brian has always been quite secretive about his finances. We live together in my home and he contributes towards the bills. We usually go 70-30 on bills and he pays for the bulk of our meals and dates. And I pay for them on occasions such as his birthday and Christmas. Well, to be honest, I don't really know a lot about his finances. He just shows up financially and I don't really question him. I've never been the kind of woman who wants to know her man's banking password. I think that's something reserved for when we're married. My girlfriends have always been fascinated by how much I trust him. They've spoken about how, in their relationship, they know every single financial detail about their man. I've always prided myself on trusting my man enough to not inquire about it. Was this trust displaced, I wonder? Now, I think I was a bit naive in doing so. When we got married, our finances are going to merge unless we sign a prenup. I mean, if he has any sort of debt or financial issues, then they will become our responsibility. If Emily sues for child support, it's going to affect both of us. Because of this, I struggle to really understand if a future is possible for both of us. He has expressed a desire to have kids, but can he take care of them? He can't even take care of the one he already has. How will he take care of any kids that we'll have together in the future? All of these things have made me skeptical about going forward with him. I think that the two of us need a break. In addition to that, I've told him to go and fix his problems with Emily. I don't want that woman to be constantly in the back of my head. More so, I don't want to be worried about a child who's not mine because he failed to take responsibility. I refuse to be stressed over a problem that I did not create. I don't mean the child is a problem, but Brian not supporting the child is. That poor child has done absolutely nothing wrong. His only fault was being born. Therefore, he does not deserve to be punished. Brian claims that his mom is not the best person to be around. What does it have to do with a child? Even if the mother is not as nice as he's claiming she should be, it does not mean that he has to treat the baby bad. I told him to sort out this baby mother issue, baby mama drama, and then we would talk. Otherwise, I feel as if we should go our separate ways. I've returned to my house and he has left. He's living with a friend for now until we figure out a way to go forward. Whatever happens, I just hope that I'll be okay. Because right now, everything is just so damn uncertain. Updates number 2. Hey guys, I promised you I'd be back with an update, and here I am. It's been 2 months since we broke up. Our families don't know this yet, but we've been acting like we're together all along. It's difficult for me to tell my family because they love him a lot. They have it in their heads that he and I are going to be married soon. He knows that I want to get married before the 5-year mark. They've been teasing that he's definitely planning a wedding for me, but I've just been kind of nonchalant about it. Well, I got a message from Brian just a couple of days ago. He told me that it was his sister's birthday and I have been invited. I told him to make an excuse for me, but he said that his parents were getting very suspicious. I've not attended the past 2 events, so they're questioning whether our relationship has become rocky. I really respect his parents, and I don't want to disappoint them. Seeing the look on their faces when they find out that we've broken up is probably going to hurt a lot. I'm not ready to have that conversation yet. Because of that, I agreed to go to the party. Brian said that he had everything organized. He booked me a hair and nail appointment and bought me a dress for the party, and I tried to refuse it all, I really did, but he was quite insistent. I told him that this was not going to get me to forgive him. He said that he was willing to work very hard to earn my forgiveness. I just wanted to drop the topic and attend the party. I'm trying very hard to stick to my choices, even though I miss him so damn much. I miss waking up next to him every day. I also miss the morning bustle and rustle as we make breakfast and get ready for work. I miss the forehead kisses he gave me every time and before he left the house. Those small things have been absent from my life for 30 days now, and it's not easy. I've considered just going back to him, but he hasn't done what I need him to do. I've talked to Emily, and she says that he's still acting like a baby. Brian says that she's trying to squeeze him out of money, which is why it baffles me that he's willing to pay for my hair, nails, and a new dress, but can't pay for his own child's daycare. As long as he's still acting like this, I don't think I can forgive him. I've told him that I need him to act right by his kid. It's up to him to follow through with it. That's what it's going to take for me to start forgiving him. It seems that my words have gone over his head. He's not even started the work that I need him to start, and as long as he continues to act like this, he'll continue to lose me. I think that I should tell our families that we broke up soon after the party. Update number 3. Guys, last night, my boyfriend took me to the party. Actually, I should not have been calling him my boyfriend anymore. Not after what happened last night. I was right when I said things would never be the same again. I arrived at the party at the intended time. I sent him a text saying that I was parked up front. He told me that I could go up to the front and ask for the reservation under his name. So I followed the steps and the waitress took me to our table. As we made our way to the table, I noticed that it was a very, very nice restaurant. It had a beautiful decor and some of my favorite colors. This was incredibly pleasing to the eye and actually improved my mood. The waitress told me that our table was outside and then opened a huge set of doors. What she revealed was something I was not expecting. My entire family was seated on the garden chair, and there was an aisle. At the end of the aisle, Brian was wearing a suit. It took me a moment to realize what's going on. I thought maybe this is a dream. So I quickly shook my head to wake myself up. However, as the realization settled in, the truth became clear. At that very, very moment, my sister came to my side and tugged me excitedly. She told me that today was the best day ever. I looked at her and I froze. Nothing could come out of my mouth because I was speechless. My father then came from the other side and linked his hand around me, and we started walking towards Brian. With each step I took towards him, I felt pure dread. Several months ago, I would have been the happiest person on earth to be walking hand in hand down the aisle towards him, but now I was feeling as if it was a nightmare. My father left me in the aisle facing Brian, who had a huge grin on his face. The officiator then began to speak, but I turned him out. Nothing he had said made sense to me. I was just trying to figure out how in the world Brian could have gotten my wishes so twisted. I wished for space, not to be forced into a marriage now. I was certain that he was only doing this because he realized that he was about to lose me. Well, bad for him, because this was what I needed to realize. I didn't want him anymore. As the officiator was speaking, I interrupted him. I told him that this was all a big misunderstanding, but there was no way I was going to marry this man. Everyone gasped. Brian stood there, mouth open in horror. It was ironic how he was shocked that I did not want to marry him. Did he really think a surprise wedding was going to fix everything just like that? Brian then chuckled and said that I was very funny. I've been wanting to get married for oh so long. Why am I making him sweat now? I kept a straight face as I told him that this was not a joke. There's no way that I could stand here and get married to a liar. His mom interrupted and asked what I was talking about. So I turned to her and asked if she knew about the child he was hiding from me. She held her heart in shock, and she then looked at Brian and mouthed something that sounded or looked like, "What the hell did you do?" His father then said that they had no idea about the child I was talking about. So then, I told them that their son had been lying to me all these years. Because of that, I was not going to marry him. Everyone started to speak all at once, and it was a mixture of protest and trying to reason with me. I didn't really desire to stand there and be forced to see reason. My mother was looking at me with the most disappointed look on her face ever. The face was, one of shock. He was the one who lied, not me, so why was she looking at me like that? When I called her, she told me to shut up. She told me that this man loves me and prepared all this for me, yet this is how I repay him. Tears started to form up in my eyes, and I should have known that she would react like this. She never took my side in any matter. Everything was always my fault, even when I had nothing to do with it. She was the one reason why I felt so pressured to get married. All she ever did was tell me about her friends' daughters getting married, this and that, and every chance she got, she kept on reminding me that my biological clock is ticking. Trust her to ignore the fact that I just revealed that my fiancé has a secret child. She didn't care about it. All she cared about were getting married. As I stood there, wondering why she cared so much, I realized that I was surrounded by enemies. They were so obsessed with the notion of the two of us being together that they did not even see my pain. They didn't care. They didn't care at all what I had to compromise as long as they got what they wanted, a grandbaby. This marriage was going to be about them, not me. But I was done living for other people. I looked Brian in the eyes and told him, "It's over, buddy." I told him to get his things out of my home because I never want to see him again. I turned on my heels and I left without another word. I switched off my phone and I've been home for the past few days. He's probably going to come and fetch his stuff anytime. My best friend's here with me, so he's going to interact with her. I don't want to talk to him. I made the right choice, I'm sure of it, but can my family ever forgive me? Final update 2 weeks later. The past 2 weeks have been absolutely hellish. He's made every excuse under the earth to see me. Maybe he thinks that there's still a chance for us. He's incredibly wrong because I will never talk to him again. I'm done giving up things for him, and in this entire relationship, I've always been the one to compromise for him. When I think about it, there are very few things that he has left me to have because everything has always been about his comfort. Even now, all my family cares about is him and how he's feeling. They told me I embarrassed them in front of everyone. In addition to that, they've also said that I should be sorry for the way that I acted. My mom says having a child is not a big deal. She thinks that it can easily be solved if I take in the child and love him. My issue is not with the kid, but with the lies. How can anybody build a marriage based on a lie? Well, in addition to that, I'm incredibly disgusted by the way that he's constantly refused to support his own kid. If I stay with him, I'll be supporting him in something I don't stand for. I've told my family that I would rather be alone than with a selfish person like him, and they called me selfish. According to them, my time's running out, and it'll be difficult to find somebody who wants to marry me. There's millions of people in this world, and I'm pretty sure there's someone out there that would not lie to my face. Even if I'm going to die alone, at least I'll not have to stay in an unhappy relationship. Nothing they say nor do will change my mind. Speaking of which, I've been in contact with the woman with whom he gave birth. Emily's around the same age as me. They were in a relationship before we met, and she fell pregnant towards the end of their relationship. And then he left her. He's been contributing very minimally and claims that he's not making any money. Since things were still at my house, I took it upon myself to look through his items. I should have done this a long time ago, because this man has more skeletons in his closet than I could have ever imagined. Guys, can you believe that he earns much more than he told her? Oh, much more. He's been under-declaring his income to her, so he's not been contributing as he should on purpose. I wasn't going to have it, though. He made a child, so he must take care of it. So I was kind enough to provide her with all the documents that she needed to take him to court for child maintenance. She updated me throughout the whole process, and after a few court visits, it was decided that he had to pay, well, a lot more money towards her. In addition to that, he had a lot of back pay due to not supporting his child for years. So now there's a court order for him to pay a certain amount of money every single month. Whether he wants to or not, he will be a father to that kid. That's the only good thing that came out of this story. Emily's very hardworking and, well, she loves that kid. I'm happy that she'll not have to struggle so much because of Brian's selfishness. A little friendship is also forming between the two of us. We've been comparing notes about our experience with him. It turns out that he was a bit similar when he was with her. He never changes. He was just really good at hiding it from me. He's a walking red flag. My family is still harassing me for choosing myself because of that. I've decided to take a break from them. They will not compromise my mental health, and I'll talk to them when they're ready to show me the empathy that I deserve. Guys, let's review this comment. It says this: I did not see the surprise wedding coming. How the hell did he even think of that? I know you've been talking about wanting to get married for years, but is this the time that he does it? I feel like he should have handled the situation better. I think that with time, you would have learned to forgive him. However, this would only have come with work from his side. Good on you for choosing for yourself. However, I have a little bit of criticism. See, I think that you should have taken him aside and told him that you can't marry him now, instead of blasting him in front of everyone. I think that made the situation far much worse for you and his family, of course. If they didn't know about this, they know now, and it might be quite difficult for them to deal with. Other than that, it's good that you chose for yourself. Don't let pressure force you into marrying somebody who isn't right for you. You'll find someone out there who treats you like the queen that they are. Guys, I want to know if you agree with that comment. Did that comment drop some knowledge bombs on us? Let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Mr. Reddito, and I narrate stories every day. I hope to see you guys tomorrow, and of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.